Hi guys, how we doing? It's Wednesday. I'm Paul McVeigh. Welcome to Wasted Lunch. Time is 11:59 Oven Standard. And I'm sitting here, got my coffee and my smokes ready to hang out and waste your lunch time. So, and I'm happy that you'll be wasting your lunch with me. Or whatever time it happens to be when you end up seeing this. Is a good time, and thanks for stepping up and watching the show. Today, where I'm at, beautiful, sunny Northeast Ohio right now. Anyways, we'll see how that lasts. The weather usually doesn't last too long around here. Raining 1 minute, snowing the next, sunny the next, and that's just how it goes. Now, it's Wednesday. Time to get over the hump and getting closer to the end of that work week. So you get past Wednesday, it all gets easier, doesn't it? Now today, hopefully, supposed to be having a guest on here. We'll see if he pops up. He should be on here, getting on here, hopefully live. And I'll see somebody popped on there for a second. Anyways, hopefully Sean pops up here. He's out of state, and if he pops on here, we'll end up chit-chatting with him. What's going on with everybody out there? I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I started watching a show the other day that people have been on me to watch for a very long time, and I haven't watched it. A lot of people told me, Paul, you got to see this show, you got to see this program. It's a good one, and I haven't watched it, and that show is Stranger Things. Okay, I've now watched it. The first time I watched it was a few days ago. Now, Stranger Things, to most people, it's nothing new. I don't even know when the hell the show came out, to be honest with you, but it's not new. It's been out for a while, and people have been telling me to watch it for a while. And like a lot of the things, when I have lots of people tell me to watch something, a lot of the times I don't get around to seeing it. But I finally watched it a few days ago. That's what matters. I finally watched it, and I loved it. I watched what turned out to be the first season. I didn't know this was going to be a television program that had seasons to it. I thought maybe it was kind of a mini-series, and it'd be, one story made up of chapters, and then it'd be over with. I did not know until watching what ended up being the final episode of season 1. I did not know there was going to be a second season. I had no clue. So that was a surprise to me. But now I watched Stranger Things, and this was right after finishing what ended up, I guess, being a miniseries, which was Stephen King inspired one. Oh my gosh, come on here, Castle Rock. There we go. Just got finished with Castle Rock. Okay, got finished with that. Castle Rock, watched it. It's interesting, but to be honest with you, it felt like there was no payoff with the series. I never got, I'd watch one episode and it did what it was supposed to do in stirring up new questions and things like that, and trying to be intriguing, and it was, and there was some creepiness to it. Strange story. There were times when it was like, okay, this is pretty good, but honestly, in the end, I felt like I had, and this is my opinion, I felt like I had spent a lot of time for nothing. Okay, I didn't, and I'm saying there was no payoff. That sounds like I was just expecting some fantastic ending, and that would have made it all good. But there wasn't really a payoff for me with that series. And also, the ride to the end of it wasn't the greatest for me. My wife thought higher of it than I did. But that's what I just got done finishing when I started watching Stranger Things. Okay. Stranger Things, completely different feel, completely different look to it than I keep thinking Salem's Lot, but Castle Rock. And right off the bat, what I did like about Stranger Things was, of course, let's see, the first season, was it set in 83, 84? I think 83, I'm not sure, but it was set in the 80s, and of course I was a kid then, so very nostalgic feelings came back, and that was cool. Right off the bat, I'm like, this is great. These kids are playing D&D. They're talking about video games and shit like that were around when I was a kid. The clothes, the hairstyles, even the credits. Okay, even the credits effects and stuff were very 80s styled. Reminded me of a lot of science fiction and horror flicks from back in the 80s. And so that grabbed me right off the bat with Stranger Things. So that helped. That helped sink the hooks in me to get me wanting to watch more of this program. And after watching Castle Rock, which was very dark, even when it comes to the cinematography and the lighting and that, Stranger Things was a breath of fresh air. It wasn't like that. The colors were more vivid. It was just more exciting feeling to me. And the first episode of it played out like a nice movie, and there were so many elements in the series, which turned out to be the first season, which there were so many elements in Stranger Things that harkened back to a lot of the movies that were out around that time or had already been out, and that was very interesting to me. There were things that happened and scenes that reminded me of Poltergeist right off the bat. There were things very poltergeistish about in this show, and there were scenes that were very much like E.T. Okay, if you've seen Stranger Things, then you'll know what I'm talking about. This strange girl pops up in this small town and is befriended by this group of boys who are all best friends, and it's very weird. She's not used to society or really being around other people her age. She's never really seen other kids from what we know, and so she's very alien in this environment, and this boy is talking to her and explaining things and showing her things, and it was just like E.T. when Elliot was talking to E.T. and showing him around his room, showing him the toys, and talking to him and explaining stuff. I could not help but thinking about E.T. When that scene happened in Stranger Things. So there were things very poltergeistish about it. I'm not going to explain the whole story of Stranger Things. By now, most of you guys and gals have probably already seen it. Okay, if you haven't, then I would strongly suggest it. Let me reposition the camera here a little bit so I can be a little more comfortable. I would strongly suggest watching it. I'd suggest it to younger folks, you know, obviously not little kids, but, you know, people in their teen years and up, but especially if you grew up in the 80s, it's definitely worth checking out just for stirring up some nostalgia there. I mean, really, and right off the bat with Stranger Things, you know, maybe it's unfair to compare that with Castle Rock, but you got to remember I had just got done watching Castle Rock, and then I'm watching yet another series here, which, like I said, I did not know it was going to be a seasonal thing. But right off the bat with Stranger Things, I mean, the first episode was, I thought, wonderful, and here I'm going to use that term again. There was a payoff right off the bat. I was immediately enjoying what I was watching. It wasn't just one big lead up to some giant question. Yes, they would end the episodes with questions, of course, to make you want to come back and figure things out. But I don't know, with Castle Rock, it just seemed like they were toying with you, toying with the audience's senses and just messing with you. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not going to go. Well, anyways, it just felt like wasted time. That's what it ended up feeling like to me in the end. But anyways. But Stranger Things, thought was great. You know, set in the early '80s, and kids are playing D&D and shit in the basement, rec room, and you know, that, like I said, that helped grab me. You know, it was so '80s, and since of course I grew up during that time, you know, immediate appeal. For the most part, I liked the characters in Stranger Things. Obviously, there were some characters you were supposed to despise. Yeah, so my opinion on Stranger Things, definitely very positive. Watched what ended up being the first season. It ended up being fantastic. I guess I should explain it a little bit. Okay, I've given all these opinions about it, you know, all these little descriptions about it, but I guess I should explain a little bit in case you are one of the very few, like myself, up until a few days back, has never seen Stranger Things, okay? Now, first off, the location of this story is a small town, I mean very small town, in Indiana, called Hawkins. Okay. Takes place there, and main characters that we're introduced to in the beginning of this show are four boys. Oh gosh, I don't know exactly what their ages were supposed to be. I'm guessing from the 10 to 12 years old range. Okay, and these dudes are best friends, and they play D&D. They hang out in their basement. They're kind of nerds. They're nerds. Okay, they're dorks. And one of them disappears one night on his way home. Okay, you know, they got the BMX bikes and shit, which were hot, you know, back in the '80s. And one of them disappears, and a strange girl, we're introduced to this strange girl who's on the run with her hair cut short, which is really weird, especially back in the 80s, you know. And she ends up on the scene. This one boy disappears. Another kid ends up appearing, and we're introduced to her. There's something very strange about her. She's running around in a hospital gown type outfit, and there's a strange, I'm trying to think, Department of Energy building is nearby. And what's weird about this building is there are big high fences, razor or barbed wire or whatever around, and there's military there too. It's very top secret type place, and it's a shady kind of eerie setup there. You're wondering what the hell's really going on in this Department of Energy. Just with all these armed guards and everything everywhere. And it appears, it ends up becoming apparent that this girl escaped from there. And these boys end up meeting her and finding out that she has powers. Okay. She ends up, she has like telekinetic powers. So the whole town is out looking for this one boy who disappears. The original group of boys, we'll call them the gang, they end up, the one boy ends up keeping her at his house. He makes a little hideaway spot in his basement for this girl, and they keep her there. He keeps feeding her and everything else, and meanwhile, he and his friends are out. They're searching for their buddy, Will Byers. That's the boy who disappeared. And the boy who takes the girl in, his name is Michael. The girl is very weird. She's not very good at communicating, lacks social skills. She ends up having a tattoo of an 11 on her wrist. They end up calling her 11. But like I said, she's got telekinetic powers, you know. Cool stuff. And from there, all kinds of bizarre, weird stuff ends up happening. And you know, you've got the missing boy, Will Byers. You've got his mom out hunting for him. You've got the sheriff. You've got his older brother. You've got the gang, you know, out on their BMXs, traipsing through the woods and stuff looking for this boy. And more and more bizarre stuff keeps happening, and more stuff keeps pointing the finger towards this Department of Energy. You know, there's a very big, it's got a very big building, and you know, the story makes you keep wondering what the hell is really going on in that building. What are they doing there? And the story keeps building and building, and characters, you know, it's very 80s-ish. Very 80s-ish. Like the way the boys go hunting for their friend reminded me of very much of Goonies and scenes from E.T. where all, you know, the boys are on their BMXs and running with E.T. trying to get him away from the scientists. A lot of E.T., a lot of traits from the E.T. movie in that movie, or in Stranger Things, for me. But yeah, I'm not going to give everything away, but that's kind of the beginning of it, and so there's humor in it, there's science fiction, and there's horror. It's a good blend. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. All right, Gary, is that you out there? How are you doing? I believe that's you out there. was talking about this show Stranger Things that I finally watched. But everybody's been hollering at me to watch this show. Everybody's been telling me how good it was. Finally watched it. I'll tell you the good thing about coming in late on something like this is that once it's already old, okay, now these episodes, you can binge watch them, okay? You know, this isn't like if I was watching it while it was current, you know, I'd have to wait, a week or whatever in between episodes, you know? But since I waited so long, since I'm, held out, which wasn't my plan, since I held out for so long and didn't watch it, now I'm finally watching it. Now I can just, episode after episode after episode, okay, until I get caught up, and then I'm stuck waiting. Yeah. So, but, so that's kind of cool thing. Because to be honest with you, I don't know if just so much is happening in my life, or if my attention span is that bad, my memory is that bad, that if I watch something a week later, I really don't know if I'm going to be still remembering everything I watched in the prior episode, because I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched stuff like that. Now, obviously I watched Castle Rock, and I had to kind of do that with that. They got the recap thing going on. That helps, of course, but let's face it, it's not cool to have to wait. It's not cool. I guess for some people, like my wife, remembers stories and stuff from movies, plays, and all that stuff. She remembers that stuff so good. For someone like her, it's probably more interesting, more exciting, because there's a suspense, there's a build-up. She can remember what the hell happened. I can't. So, for me, it's like, okay, what happened again? And then the recap isn't done well, then I still, anyways. But there you have it. There's the advantage to waiting longer than everybody else to watch these damn series or TV shows. Then there is a whole list of these shows. You can watch one after the other at your convenience, of course. But that's what happened with that. So I watched what turns out to be season 1. Very last episode I thought was fantastic. I thought it was a great way to wrap up the story. Great climax, build up, and here I'll go ahead and drop that phrase again. A huge payoff, and I thought it worked. And coming away from the other series I had just finished, Castle Rock, I had really felt, I really thought that, wow, this was worth watching. Castle Rock may do it for you guys out there, and it may have done it for you. It might just be me. That it didn't, I don't want to say, it's not about getting wowed, but just keeping my interest. Castle Rock got to the point where it seemed like they could get away with anything in the story. They were, I don't know. It just seemed like they started doing stuff with that story, and they were like, we can explain this any way we want or like, and period. It's just going to have to make sense. We wrote it that way, damn it. I don't know how to explain it without really going into detail about the series, but Stranger Things did not do that to me. It didn't do that. So, but when I watched the last episode, and then on the Netflix thingamajig, it's instantly loading up. Okay, automatically it's loading up the first episode of season 2. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Second season? Really? I did not think. Obviously I wasn't paying attention too much when I push play and there'd be the little writing or whatever when it, because I never remembered looking at it and seeing season 1 on there. So I really honestly thought it was just going to be over, period. I'm glad it's not, because by the end of the first season, I really had an interest in some of these characters and wondered, okay, what would happen to them now? After these major events happen, crazy, hard to believe events happen, what would these people be doing after that, in the wake of all this? And season 2 is explaining that. So, for all you people who have watched Stranger Things, and all the folks who told me, Paul, you need to watch it and this and that, well, there you go. There you have it. I finally did, and I was not disappointed at all. Alright. Because now, just started season 2, and now I'm going to watch more of that. So, turned out really exciting, and I couldn't think how I ended up, why I ended up watching it. I just, I thought back about hearing about the show so many times, and then I thought I remembered a couple people telling me about how it reminded them so much being a kid back in the 80s, and I remembered that, and I was like, yeah, I told Teresa, let's give this a try, and that's how that ended up happening. And then, in a few nights, boom, we just went through weeks of what, other people waited for weeks to watch. We ended up watching in a few nights, so worked out good. Now we're on season 2. Season 2 seems pretty good also. So, we'll, I don't know where it's going to go, and that's good. But, I don't know. And then, trying to think. Oh, another movie it reminded me of from back in the 80s was there was a movie I think called The Gate. The gate opened up in that kid's backyard. Reminded me of that too. And another one. Did I already mention Poltergeist? A lot of poltergeistness. When I can't really explain why, just in case you haven't watched it, I can't really explain some of the things that reminded me of Poltergeist about Stranger Things, because I'd be giving stuff away, so just in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, if you guys end up, if you've already watched it, share your opinion in the comments, on, of course, if you're watching this on Facebook, you can do that. Or, well, hell, you can do that on YouTube also in the comments, Share with me your opinions on the series, or if you just now go out to watch it, you can share that with me. Alright, hold up, somebody's knocking at the door. I gotta go get that.
That's Ohio Edison.
Yeah. Alright, well, guys, I'm gonna sign off for now. Everybody take care. I'll see you later. Bye.